All right, the research process began last week with the interview. Hopefully you all completed that, got your questions done, and talked to the person. If you have not gotten that done yet, you still need to do it. It's a required part of your research paper, so don't give up on that yet. We truly start research this week though, and you can see I'm here in the week 8 folder. You can see the comma stuff at the top, and you can see that there's a place for you to submit a works cited and your note cards here. But I want to take you through this document on how you do the works cited and the note cards as well. So this document will still be up here on the Schoology page in the week 8 folder for you, but I just thought if I ran you through it, maybe I'd be able to answer your questions. So I basically just say you're going to be researching your chosen occupation this week, and by the end I want that works cited as well as 25 note cards, which I have put in air quotes because we're not going to use real note cards this year with COVID. We're going to do everything electronically on Google Docs. So first thing, works cited, you got to have 4 sources, but this includes your interview. If you interviewed more than one person, you can use that as 2 sources, right? So you got to have at least 1 internet source, at least 1 interview source, but 4 sources total. Your works cited is going to be in alphabetical order. That shouldn't be too difficult. We're doing this on word processors. So you can see down here in my example, alphabetical order means that if it starts with A, that goes here. You can see Allison Doyle's name, she's next, that goes there. Blah, blah, blah. And then what does an auto mechanic do and how to become one. So all you have to do is copy and paste them in the correct order, beginning with the word. That's your alphabetical order. And 3, you got to make sure that all of the information is there and all of it is indented properly. And you can see the indentations are here. You'll remember it says here to use citation machine, but you've got to remember to add the date of access. That's the day you found it. So in this one, you can see I've put October 30th. Here's November 5th. Here's November 3rd. Here's November 7th. And it's day, month abbreviation, and year. Don't forget that. I've also noticed Citation Machine often asks you to add the publisher or the sponsor. Here you can see I've got Workable Technology Limited. Here we've got Dot Dash. And then this last one down here, we got Rethink Old School. And I just wanted to show you real quick where that appears in websites. It's almost always at the bottom of the page. Sometimes it's by a year. Here you can see the Balanced Careers is part of the Dot Dash publishing family. So that's our answer for that one. For this one, I found it by the year 2012 to 2020, and that's Workable Technology Limited. Sometimes you'll see that little C in a circle like that. And I thought I had one more here to show you. Yep. And here's another one again. You can see it's next to that little C, Rethink Old School Inc., meaning incorporated. So make sure that you are looking for that at the bottom of the page. You just throw that into the rest of the works cited machine, and then you put that together like this and indent and everything. So this is what the final product looks like. Now, as I scroll back up, you might be thinking, hey, you never showed us how to do an interview. An interview is really simple to do in Works Cited. The only information you need is the information that you wrote down on that sheet last week. So you've got the person's name, that's last name first, comma, then their first name. Then you've got the type of interview it was, and that's either going to be personal, meaning face-to-face, email, or telephone. So you just write that out, personal interview I've written here, and again, the date of the interview. So that's the day, the month, and the year. So that's your works cited, and what you want to be doing is as you find a website that you're going to use, you want to instantly go and do the works cited part right away. Just get it done and paste it to your Google Doc that you're going to have your works cited on, so it's there and it's ready to go. Plus, you'll use part of that citation for your note cards, which I'm going to show you next. That's on the same document here. By the way, I just figured I'd keep it all on one, nice and easy for you. So note cards, and again in air quotes since we're not using it, there's no way for us to really do that aside from you taking pictures of them and trying to upload them. But when we do that, they're hard to read. Some of you struggle with uploading that stuff. So instead, we're just going to do sort of fake electronic note cards just on a Google Doc right here. Before I show you how to do those though, what is your paper going to be about? You'll need to know. Essentially, aside from the conclusion paragraph, you've got 5 different categories that you're working in here. Your introduction is going to be where you provide your general overview of the career. And you can see I've got all of these in bold here for a reason. I'll tell you that in a second. You got education and training. That's something I really want you to look into if you're going to go into this field. What do you have to do to get there? Challenges and negatives. These are the bad parts, the disadvantages of the career. Your benefits and rewards. Of course, these are the positives. You guys are going to be adults soon. It's time to start thinking about, health insurance and salary and, job outlook, because it's going to be something that lasts forever. Chance of advancement. Can you move up the ladder? All that sort of stuff. And then location. I mean, if you want to be a marine biologist, there's not going to be very many jobs for that here in Minnesota. You're probably going to have to relocate to somewhere that has more marine life. So what do you do for the note cards? For all of them, in the top left corner, you're going to put the category the information best fits in. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But the category is one of these 5 things that I've bolded up here for you. So that should make it really simple. You're just going to pick one of those, whichever one it fits. You'll put that in the top left corner. In the top right corner, you're either going to have the last name of the person who wrote it or the person who you interviewed. And if you have neither of those things, you'll use the first 2 words in quotation marks from your source. So you can see this is one that I didn't have the author for, so I put auto mechanic. That way when you cite it in your paper, we're going to know exactly where that comes from. So this is an example right here of a direct quotation. I wrote this word from a source, and I've put quotation marks around it. I want 5 of your 25 note cards. You can have more, but I want 5 of the 25 to be direct quotations. Most of the time, though, you're not going to directly quote something. You're going to put it in your own words. That's called paraphrasing, as I'm sure you know. But it's the same thing on the note card. In the top left, I want you to put that category. And again, make sure it matches one of these up here. So this one says challenges and negatives. In the top right corner, you can see I've got the author's last name, Loblaw, right there. And then no quotation marks around this because I put it in my own words. I'm still going to cite it in my paper later, but I don't want to put quotations around it because I didn't use their words specifically. So there you go. You basically have 2 examples of what note cards should be like, and you need 25 of them. That might sound like a lot, but you're going to write your whole paper with these. I'm suggesting you have 5 for each of those 5 categories, so you have a nice, evenly distributed amount of information in your paper. And the reason that we put these categories in the top is when you go to write your paper then, you can just automatically shuffle them into going, all right, I've got to write my introduction paragraph. Here are the 5 cards I'm going to use. And then you've got those in front of you. You can write that paragraph. Next is education and training. Find those 5 cards, put them in as well. All right, so it should be pretty simple process to write the paper once you've got all of this information. Once you do have it all, you can see down here is where you're going to submit your work cited. So you're going to just copy and paste that in there and submit it. Just make sure, double check that everything's correct before you do. And the same thing with the note cards here. And I believe on there I ask you to number your note cards because I want to make sure that you have 25 of them. So if you have any further questions about this process, make sure you email or ask in hybrid or ask at one of our drop-in times that you're visiting synchronously with me. Other than that, you should be good to go. Research hard, look around, find as much as you can. It'll make the paper writing process a lot easier.